MG is starting a new chapter right here in the Philippines. With a brand new distributor, they've also brought in two new vehicles, the MG4 EV and the Marvel R EV. Can they jumpstart an electric revolution? Well, let's find out. Let's start first with the MG Marvel R. In terms of size, this would be sort of like a compact SUV. But of course, being an EV, the interior space would be much larger. What I like about it is that it carries on the new MG design language. It's very sporty, very angular, very European, fitting because MG is a brand that has this British heritage. At each corner are 19-inch alloy wheels with Michelin tires and flush door handles, perfect for those who are concerned about aerodynamics. And what I like about this car is that it fully utilizes the fact that it's an EV because it's got this large front trunk or a frunk. In terms of the side profile, the Marvel R does resemble like a normal compact SUV, which is great if you don't want that sci-fi looking look or appeal. And then towards the back, you get this full-length LED taillights. And interestingly, a power tailgate as well. So imagine that. The Marvel R has two trunks, the one in the front and one in the back. Perfect if you're putting in golf clubs at the back and also like your duffel bag or whatever else in front. All right, so now that we've seen how impressive the Marvel R is outside, let's take a look at inside. When you get inside the Marvel R, the first thing that actually gets your attention is this one. It's a 19.4. Get that, a 19.4-inch screen that controls everything. Air conditioning, the car settings, and what have you. Now, another thing that makes this different is that the Marvel R has this feature for its climate control that's pretty much like what you get in an aircon back at home. The vents actually automatically swivel. That's a sort of feature you don't get in any vehicle in its price range. Nappa leather seats are standard, and also you get a panoramic sunroof. Full digital gauges, and for those who are familiar with the old MGs, the nice meaty steering wheel with the big octagonal MG logo at the center. Now for the MG Marvel R, great as the front seats are, with a price tag, most of the time, owners would probably spend more time at the back. So let's check that out. This would be the rear quarters of the Marvel R. Sport bucket seats in front maybe would make the interior a bit tighter, but the cocooning feel gives that cockpit-like feel. Rear air conditioning vents with USB chargers right here, and also a nice brushed aluminum accents for the cup holders right here in the center as well. It's very comfortable. The seat cushion goes all the way actually to the end of my hips. Again, a rarity in this particular segment, and also a rarity in vehicles nowadays. Now that we've spent time with the Marvel R, let's take a look at the game-changing EV, the MG4. The MG4 probably needs little introduction. After all, this has been voted as one of the best cars in the world, especially in its home country of the UK. In terms of design, the MG4 is more futuristic because it's a newer vehicle. It's built off a bespoke platform. LED taillights are standard across the two variants that you get here in the Philippines. A low-mounted battery gives it a perfect 50-50 front-rear weight distribution, which makes this sort of like a sports car. Oh, which reminds me, this vehicle is rear-wheel drive. Now, this is actually classified as a hatchback, but what I like is that they actually integrated a bit of crossover elements. Things like this black area or black accent that you see here. 17-inch alloy wheels are standard with this nice Aero cover. And towards the back, you get a nice full-length LED taillight cluster with this interesting light design. A large trunk will be able to make you fit things like groceries, maybe a golf bag or two. And of course, to complete that sporty effect, this nice floating rear spoiler. Oh, and by the way, the MG4 and the Marvel R also would introduce the new Brit Dynamic logo for the first time. The most interesting part about the MG4 is that there's no push start button right here. To start the car, all you need to have is that the smart key, step inside, and the car automatically turns on. It's that intuitive. Rotary shift dial right here in the center. a 7-inch display for the driver, and a 10.25-inch display that serves as your infotainment. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard. Now, because the MG4 is built off a bespoke EV platform, you would notice that there is an absence of the tunnel right here. You can do things like this which would not be typical, or something that you can't do in a regular ICE vehicle. So if you're parking the car actually in a very tight space, it's actually very doable right here. The same goes for the back, which we'll be checking right now. Again, bespoke EV platform means you can sit abreast because of an almost flat rear floor. You get a USB charger right here at the back. And just like the Marvel R, the seat support is also pretty good because the seat cushion goes all the way to support your hips right here. Now you'd notice there's not much going on inside the back of the MG4, and that's for a good reason, because you're supposed to be driving this EV. This is a driver's EV. Again, good horsepower, around a 7-second 0 to 100 time, also perfect weight distribution, that would make it nimble. That's compared maybe to the Marvel R, which is a bit more family-oriented vehicle, but take note, it still does a 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds, and because of its dual motor setup, it gives you all-wheel drive. Regardless, whatever you choose, both cars are amazing value for money that you can only get with an MG. Now going back to your question, will MG Philippines be able to start an electric revolution? Well, the answer is yes. If you've always been considering an EV but would be afraid a bit about the cost, well, the answer is the MG4 and the Marvel R. They are simply priced to sell. Best of all, they come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and an 8-year battery warranty to keep you safe and secure in the long run. Of course, the best news is that both of these vehicles can be bought at any authorized MG dealership nationwide.